All right, welcome to Party Central. This is Justin Popovich, and right now we're going to be walking through the process that I use to make a squeeze page video. Now, this was based on, I want to show you an example of how the squeeze page videos were made for the Self-Help Startup Kit, but this is how I do it for any kind of animated video that I make. And there's 4 steps. You got to write your script or your sales copy, depending on what it is your video is doing. And then you need to record the audio, create slides to match the audio, and merge it all together. And I have different tools that I use. So let me show you what I'm doing, and I'm here on a Mac. So if you're not using a Mac, then you'll have to go and buy one. No, I'm just kidding. You could probably do this on a PC. In fact, I know you can do this on a PC. You just have to use different tools. And where possible, I'll mention the PC equivalent based on my knowledge. Haven't used a PC in like 3 years, so you might want to double check. But the ones I'm going to suggest are probably still good to go. So the first step is writing the copy. I usually just use plain old Notepad for that. So I would just literally write my script out. Now, in the case of the product Self-Help Startup Kit, I was writing 3 different squeeze videos. One was a guide to success, another one was a guide to happiness, and a third one was a positive thinking program. So I literally just thought about some stuff that I'd like to say to to somebody to convince them to give me their name and email to get this kind of program. And it took me, I don't know, maybe 10-15 minutes to write it. Now I should mention that I have a few years experience now selling and creating content in the personal development space. So getting people interested and interested enough at least to give up a name and email is something that I can do fairly easily. You might have to develop that skill or just buy my PLR. so, so I wrote the script. So scripty mix script, we'll call it, and then this would be the text. And so I'd have it all in there, ready to go. So that would be step 1. Then I would use GarageBand. So I'd fire this thing up. GarageBand is an app on the Mac that lets you record your voice, or you can record audio tracks. You can do lots of audio manipulation. So I'd put on a headset or get some kind of microphone, and I would just hit the record button. I have an existing file open here. Just hit the record button and head over and read the script. And I have a lot of practice doing this, so it usually just takes me 1 take, so I can save a lot of time. And then I'll play it back and just make sure it sounds good, and I'll just mess around with some of the controls. For example, in GarageBand, I've created this little effect called Vids, which is a bunch of different presets that I know make my audio sound really good. And that way I don't have to go and do it every time I record. And then it's just a matter of using the share export, and I just export it as an MP3. I'll clean it up, obviously, to make sure there's no white space at the beginning and the ends and things of that nature. But if you're on a PC, then this could be done, I believe, with Audacity, although I don't know if Audacity has a sound recorder. You might have to record your voice using a recorder app and then import that audio into Audacity. You don't quote me on any of this, so I'm a Mac guy. Okay, just giving you my process here. So once that's exported as an MP3, I save that somewhere in a specific folder for the product or project I'm working on. Then go back over here, and we've done steps 1 and 2. Then I'll create slides to match the audio. So let me close this down to keep things clean. So I've already got Keynote open here. Keynote is like PowerPoint. So if you're on a Mac, you probably use Keynote all the time, like I do. If you don't have Mac and you haven't bought one based on my recommendation at the start of this program or this video, then you can use PowerPoint. So I would just fire up a new slideshow, and I usually just go with a white background for most of my videos, but you can do whatever you want, really. And then I'll actually pull up this script that I've written, and I'll start thinking of interesting ways to make these slides match what I've been saying in the script. So let me actually pull up a live example, because this is going to be very, very generic if I don't actually show you a live example. So let me close the generic one, close that generic one, and all right, I just cut over there because I was fumbling around here on my hard drive. So what I did was I opened up my happiness script. So this was a script I wrote to get people to opt into a 7-part happiness ebook. And these are the slides that I created to kind of match the script. So you can see, I can make this a little bigger here. You You can kind of see roughly the size of the script. It's not all that long. It's just enough to, if I were to read that, I think maybe it's a minute and a half of audio. And then all I did was I kind of read through this and I created slides that matched it. So for example, the opening of the video is a little quote from Aristotle. So I made the first slide a sort of like an animated unveiling of the quote. So if I click play here, you'll see what I did was I just made the or just as like a typewriter type of thing. Oops, there you go. And that's just something you can do with Keynote or PowerPoint. And so that's what I do throughout the entire script, right? So the next part was the quote, and then I start going in my whole setup for the opt-in, talking about how busy we are in our lives, and we're all striving, and we forget to be happy. And so I create these other slides where I just animate stuff. So you can see here, the next slide, I made it match. So it kind of goes in a few steps. I talk about how we're all striving for accomplishment and we're not there yet. And I use this little arrow to give a visual reminder that we're striving and reaching. And then I say, but we all, can always tap into our happiness. And then I make that come in with like a cool little animation here. These are all little techniques you'll have to learn with PowerPoint or Keynote. But you get the idea. So that's all I do. I take that script and I just kind of get creative. I think what would look nice as people are listening to what I've already said here in visual format, and I test it. I play this entire keynote back in play mode to make sure that all the transitions from one slide to the next look good. So that takes care of steps 1, 2, and 3. Then what I do is I merge the audio and slides together. Now this is where it gets a little bit trickier. Now in this case I use an app called ScreenFlow, which I can't demonstrate because I'm using it right now to record my voice and show you all this stuff. If I pull it up, I think it should still work. No, it won't, because it won't show the dashboard because I'm recording. Alright, I just realized that I can indeed show you the ScreenFlow here. I just merged over there. So this is ScreenFlow. What I'll do here, you can see I've actually, if I click play here, it shows what I was just creating for you, right? Now, what I would do is in the case of my slides, I would have my audio track here. I would import that MP3 and have the audio track running in one spot, and then the next one down is the video or the screen recording of my slides. And in some cases, as I've recorded the MP3 with the slides playing, it gets out of sync a little bit. So you can use the tools in here to split the timelines up and move the audio left and right, or extend your slides a little bit longer if you need to. Again, these are all tools or little operations within inside of the tool of ScreenFlow or Camtasia or whatever else you're using that you just kind of have to fiddle around with and get used to. But the main thing are these 4 things that I've showed you already, and that was here. So whatever tools you decide to do, that is essentially how I make animated videos, whether they're squeeze page videos or even like I've done like motivational style videos where I have something like a positive message I want to convey. I'll write instead of writing an article and publishing on my blog, I'll write what I want to say, then record my voice, add some cool effects, make a nice little slideshow, and I've got a brand new piece of content that's, like, in my opinion, 10 or 20 or more times the value than just writing an article, because you're catching people at with audio and video, and it's a deeper emotional connection, so it's better content. So practice trying this out. Give this a shot, and you could even use the existing stuff we provided if you happen to buy the Self-Help Startup Kit, and start with what I gave you and just make your own new versions of it. So I hope that works for you, and thanks for watching.